morning and welcome back to the channel. It is a beautiful morning. We are at 61 degrees today and it's a little after 5:30. I hope you are well rested and ready for the day. It's looking like it's going to be a beautiful day, although we don't have much cloud coverage. But I hope it's not going to be too hot. I think yesterday we got into like the low 90s maybe. But I think that it should be kind of busy. We're still waiting on some reagents for our new instrument, so that's kind of was a mess there with usually that vendor's on top of things, but this time they kind of dropped the ball. So we're kind of just waiting on more reagents to come in so we can continue testing. But yeah, I was thinking about getting some, or at least one donut today. I don't know why I've been craving a donut with some coffee. But I'll see. I know it's not good for me. And I had donuts. I had a donut last week. And then the week before. Whereas before I would try to minimize the donut intake to like once every 6 months or something like that. One of my old colleagues was doing that. Because we used to have donuts a lot with the midnight shift to early morning shift. We would bring donuts and enjoy them, and then all of a sudden he decided he better lay off the donuts. So I jumped on board, and it's been okay because that's a lot of sugar. Unless you're like not eating a full breakfast, you have the donut and then you have a lot of physical activity, you should be okay. Yesterday I got some gas over at Love's and it was $3.29, so it stayed the same from the weekend, but I'm not sure what it's gonna be like this weekend. Looks like there's a detour up here. What's going on up here? It says road work ahead. West I-10. Let's say west or east. But I made breakfast for us this morning, and then the missus made lunch, so we're good on that front. Yesterday those bean and I think they were bean and ground beef burritos or something. Those warm-ups were pretty good. And then last night we had pizza from Aldi's. Picked it up on Sunday because the roast didn't go in till late in the afternoon, so it wasn't ready by the time we were gonna eat. But we did have salad, boiled corn, and pizza. I know that's weird, but so today we're going to have the roast beef, and then I still have the marinated pork roast that's in the fridge. That was supposed to go in yesterday, but we had a mix-up, and so it'll hopefully go in today when I get home, or maybe sooner. Just depends. I don't know if we're going to wash that crock pot today. We were putting in dishes this morning before we left, but we'll see. Either way, we're having roast beef tonight with some
says, you know, when it comes to making big decisions in our lives,
retaliation for speaking to the media. At the time, she says, a lot of people didn't trust that the government would actually honor the deal. And also, she had just started at the Department of Energy after leading a job in the private sector.
Working with the federal government was one thing that was kind of on my career goals. Like, go to the source of where policies implemented.
So she decided not to resign, passing up 7 months of paid leave. But days later, she was fired, along with tens of thousands of other recent hires known as probationary employees. Under a court order, many of them have been reinstated. Marie has gotten her badge and her computer back, but
when I talked to other probationary employees, we're kind of all assuming they're going to fire us again.
She knows big cuts are coming to the Energy Department, but she doesn't know where they're going to fall. She can't wait to find out because the Energy Department has only given people just over a week to decide whether to resign. The deadline is midnight tonight.
It's just hard because the job market is so uncertain right now. I think that adds a lot of fear to people who are like, this career's not going to happen. But also, like, are we going into a recession?
That's a fear echoed by many federal workers as they weigh this major life decision with little information and little time. For some, especially those who haven't been in the government for very long, the deferred resignation offer looks pretty good. Most people know someone who took the deal the first time and are getting the pay they were promised. Others have different considerations. Carrie has been with the Department of Housing and Urban Development for 15 years. She asked to be identified by a nickname out of fear of retaliation for speaking out. Her work is all about making sure the poorest and most vulnerable Americans have housing.
I love my job. I think I'm good at my job. Just the mission is so critical, I think.
It's why she didn't even consider resigning the first time around. Also, she's worked under every administration since Obama, including Trump's first term.
In all of those administrations, we did really good work. You know, different policies, different politics through all of them, but we really did move work forward.
But this time, Carrie says, is proving different.
Just having 2.5, 3 months into this administration, and work has been terrible.
Because of the shutdown in grant funding, she has spent a lot of time on calls.
Dealing with the panic in communities, but not actually even being able to tell them anything has been really hard.
Not to mention, everyone is just waiting, bracing for the department to announce its reorganization plan to find out who and what are getting cut.
Every week we have meetings about like, well, it's probably coming, but we don't know when. My office specifically at one point was quoted to have 84% cuts. Very few people will survive that.
Still, she's leaning towards staying and seeing what happens. With 15 years in the government, if she's laid off, her severance would be roughly the same as what she'd get if she voluntarily resigned now. But at moments, she has doubts. Many of her close colleagues have told her they're taking the deal. And so she wonders,
who's going to be here? Are we going to be able to do anything? Because will we have anyone to do that work?
She has until Friday to decide. Andrea Hsu, NPR News.
This is Morning Edition here on KJCC. We'll have the marketplace morning report for you in about 10 minutes. The price of crude oil has fallen below $60 per barrel, lowest we've seen it since 2021. It's good news at the gas pump, but how will it affect U.S. oil production? We'll hear about that and all of the day's business news coming up in Marketplace at 5:52 here on 91.5.
KJZZ is supported by Boyce Thompson Arboretum. Nature lovers can experience the Arizona desert in bloom this spring. Acres of gardens, wildlife trails, and more. A
very happy for all of us. 1125 is what we're up on the Dow futures. S&P futures up 133. NASDAQ futures up 434. That's almost 2.5%. So we'll take it. For more money news, visit the Business Center at KTAR.com.
KTAR News Flash.
At 5:43, this is what you need to know right now, and a possible sign of things to come on Wall Street. Asian markets opening higher overnight, and amid hopes for a new trade deal between the U.S. and Japan, the Dow closed down yesterday, but not nearly the amount that it had closed down over the last few days, and the NASDAQ actually closed up.
Lori Vallow Daybell's trial is underway with opening statements yesterday. Prosecutor Trina Kay says Daybell caught wind of an intervention her fourth husband was planning to have with her, which is why the prosecutor says she conspired with her brother Alex Cox to kill kill him. Daybell says her ex was shot in self-defense. This is her Arizona trial. She's already serving life in the deaths of her kids in Idaho.
That Mega Millions ticket now going to cost you $5, up from $2. The multi-state lottery hopes it'll improve odds, boost jackpots, and fight jackpot fatigue. The phenomenon under which lottery prizes must grow to enormous amounts before most players take notice and buy tickets. All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app.
All right, it's John Ruler live in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center. Hey, John.
Hey, LaDonna, we're off to a pretty good start this morning. I won't complain. We do have our normal spots of slowing. I'm now starting to see a little bit of slowing starting to build on Grand Avenue. Right at the confluence of 51st Avenue and Bethany Home Road, that is starting to load up just a little bit if you are coming into the downtown area. And our normal spots of slowing in the West Valley, southbound Loop 101, right at McDowell Road, you'll have some stop and go as you transition to the eastbound I-10. Then again, just up ahead on the eastbound I-10, right around 51st Avenue, over to 27th Avenue, slowing there in through the stack right now, about 16, 17 minutes on your ride in. And the surface streets still looking good. Did hear back from DPS on that earlier crash in the far west part of the county, westbound I-10, right at milepost 99. We did have an overnight crash there, but that looks to clear away. So if you are a commercial trucker, maybe heading to California this morning, you are good to go. John Roller, KTAR News.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 93. Right now it's 60 in Peoria. Weather brought to you by Howard Aaron Plumbing. Weather replace or repair, call Howard Aaron Plumbing.
Wall Street seemed to have more mood swings yesterday than my tween girl, but it ended the day with the Nasdaq actually making gains, and the Dow only losing about 350 points, much better than the 2,200 plus loss we saw on Friday.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Joining us for...
You catch how he almost stuck his foot in his mouth. He would have been in big trouble if he had said what he was going to. Oh, jeez. Oh, those two cars. They almost got stuck in those two cars behind us. So, I hope you guys have a great day. I am a little early, so I maybe get a donut. I'll kind of prep for it. But at the same time, I don't really need it. I kind of want it. But a lot of times if I get a donut, I end up getting everybody, well, at least a dozen or two for our team at work, and it doesn't seem right just getting one, so I better just go to work, because the last time, remember, it was getting close to the end of the week and I ended up getting donuts, and then we went to eat lunch, and then I bought tamales, and it just blew my whole budget for the week. So I'll just stay focused. And you guys, thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching, thank you for sharing our videos. And I have been adding indigenous or native YouTubers to the playlist, so check it out and share some of your recommendations or your favorite channels, and we'll add them. Have a good day. Kuku.